mineral pass over to this extra mineral path over here to get away from those Zerglings. Great set of micro from BoxeR, able to get that mule out of there, keep him alive, as mules are extremely valuable, and losing a fresh mule is a big waste. Now we have LaLuSh here, dealing with the creep reduction in a very interesting way, just throwing a couple creep tumors in the middle of that creep island. Trying to establish his third at the gold. He realizes that he is not going to be able to do a whole lot of aggression, not going to be able to slow down BoxeR's economy, and so he wants to get ahead of the game. He wants to get ahead of the curve. He has already transitioned into lair tech, setting up his infestation pit, going for roach speed and a couple evolution chambers to get those upgrades up and running, and we now have him just kind of hanging out. It looks like this is going to be a fairly going to transition into a very standard Zerg versus Terran, where the Terran player tries to really out-macro the Zerg player, which is a very interesting strategy Terrans have been using lately, in that they get a lot of Marines, they get a lot of siege tanks, and they just kind of siege creep across the map, moving up incrementally, taking bases as they go, and they just choke out a Zerg player, denying them expansions and forcing them to attack into a siege line as often as possible. Now we have a couple of Marine Scouts heading out. Very nice control from BoxeR. He is splitting up his forces really well, using just a small squad of Marines to scout around, see what's going on, check the watchtower, and now that he's scouted out the Zerglings on the tower, steaming up all his Marines and running them over in order to clear that stuff out. Now we have this third base setting up for LaLuSh, and he is about halfway done on his hatchery, and we're going to see how BoxeR reacts to that. For his own part, he is setting up an armory in order to probably get some Thors, or perhaps keep his Marine upgrades going, and now we have siege tanks with siege mode, looking to set up a siege line here. BoxeR is aware of this third base. He is going to go scout out this natural, see no bases down there, and LaLuSh, for his part, is wrapping around. He wants to do some damage at the natural. He's decided to let BoxeR set up his siege line, and he's going to counterattack with some banelings and some roaches while his hatchery in construction is getting bombarded. But there are two siege tanks over here, a bunker, and a ton of Marines, and that attack is going to do absolutely nothing. Now he is forced to make a choice, probably going to have to cancel this hatchery right before it finishes, and this siege line from BoxeR is going to be doing what it needs to do. He is holding this right side of the map. He is into LaLuSh's territory, killing some creep tumors and taunting these Zerglings and banelings and roaches into the siege tank line. LaLuSh realized that he cannot safely engage considering this great placement of siege tanks. They are set up so that even if one tank gets destroyed, all of the others are always going to be shelling away at these Zerg units. Now, once again, we got creep receding. A big blast from that siege tank, blowing up tons of Zerglings. That was a huge impact. And now we have BoxeR just going on, still building his SCVs, still building another command center in his... Let's see, where is he building that command center? Right on the outside of his base. It looks like he is going to set up his third. He's cleared out these rocks already. A big contingent of Marines and siege tanks moving down. And LaLuSh is going to have to make something happen. He has neural parasite researched. He has 4 infestors on the field, so he is going to have to clear out this siege line in order to get a foothold back into this game. He needs this gold, or alternatively, he needs to take this third base. There's even a Marine here guarding this base, and LaLuSh is aware of the fact that BoxeR is looking to take his third. BoxeR is going to sit back, and now good fungal growth coming down on those Marines. Tons of Marines are going to go down. The medevac only able to save one of them, and just barely. And now we got Zerglings coming in to finish that one off. And this is something about this map. This is the moment of truth where a Zerg player, if the Terran player can establish a planetary fortress on this position, it is extremely difficult for the Zerg player to root him out. And now this is the moment where LaLuSh realizes he has to move in. He has to kill that command center. These banelings are getting stuck up on the roaches. The infested Terran is going down next to the siege tank. Fungal growth is going down everywhere, but there are so many siege tanks, so many Marines. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this. It looks like LaLuSh is forced to fall back with so many Marines coming in from BoxeR, and he just cannot keep these Marines off of his roaches. The banelings without baneling speed are way too slow. The Marines able to micro back and fall back into these siege tanks, and this planetary fortress is almost done. LaLuSh's moment has passed, and now he is in a big trouble right here, because the Terran player, BoxeR here, now has a siege line in the center of the map. From this position on the map, he can attack and defend at pretty much the same time. He controls the center of the map, and now we got another big wave of Zerg units coming in from LaLuSh. Banelings and roaches running in, killing tons of siege tanks, killing tons of marines, but there is still a bunch of siege tanks in the back row here, and more being built, more reinforcing. And as I was saying, a Terran player from this position on Xel'Naga Caverns can defend this entire section here with siege tanks and advance as they want to down the side, able to go in either direction. And if the Zerg player tries to run around in either direction, they are still easily able to unsiege a part of their army, run back, reinforce over here. So this Terran player is rooted in. BoxeR is ready to hang out, take advantage of this gold. He has thrown down all of his mules on the gold, and he is getting tons of resources. Look at that. Once again, twice as many resources as his Zerg opponent, able to keep his production up in a huge way, and even a 4th command center going down. LaLuSh, for his part, getting dropped at this new hatchery. This 4th expansion going to go down. This 4th base is getting killed by Marines, and it looks like this attack was forced to run back. He's going to try to take out these Marines. A couple of Zerglings coming in. This gold base is up, but not mining. He's going to have to get some drones on there right away, and a bit of a miss micro on those Zerglings, running past the Marines, getting a couple free shots, and the medevac is running up to the 3rd base at the gold, but there are Banelings, Zerglings, roaches ready and waiting, and these infestors are just hanging out. They could snipe down that medevac with an infested Terran and a few fungal growths, but choosing instead to let it hang out, saving that energy. And now we have another drop coming in. LaLuSh is aware of that, and he's going to catch that with a fungal growth. A bunch of infested Terran going down. That entire medevac is going to be destroyed by their infested brethren. Those poor, poor Marines have been hanging out inside the infestor eggs for so long. Now they are out, but they are going to die very soon. And we have BoxeR once again feeling comfortable. He's able to hang out. He's all sieged up. He has no problem. He can just send out drops when he wants. He can push when he wants. And he's able to push into this choke. This section of the map, extremely difficult for Zerg players to take because of the fact that they are funneled into this nasty little tight choke. And look at the siege tank placement by BoxeR. Amazing placement, and LaLuSh has decided to go completely around that, but there are more siege tanks everywhere. This is what I was talking about. BoxeR able to hold the entire center of the map, hold his planetary fortress, hold his gold expansion, mine happily, and we have a 4th base going down. LaLuSh is going to be able to spot this and block it for a few moments, but I don't know what he's going to be able to do. This 4th base going down once again. Ross getting taken down finally. Spire going up. He's going to try to use some medevac, or some... oh no, these poor, poor drones. Caught in the middle of a drone transfer just before the rocks went down, so they took the long way around, and that was a huge amount of workers killed for BoxeR. He's now killed a total of 29 workers this entire game. This 3rd base goes down. The gold just barely mined out, and it looks like LaLuSh realizes that he is completely choked out. There is no way he's going to be able to come back from this, and forced to GG. And BoxeR with the very interesting, very strong Terran pressure on top of the early aggression, able to choke out a win, able to crush his Zerg opponent with this slow siege push, and we are going to move on to game 2.